Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? It is in fact my favorite time of the week because it's time to save some money on some great Switch and Switch 2 games, both digital and physical. And you know, I'll be honest, this week I really wasn't expecting much. Maybe a good sale here or there, but this is actually one of the best sales, I don't want to say of all time, but it's a pretty good sale, all things considered. There's some amazing deals here, and you're not going to want to miss this. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So yes, as you can see, I am not currently home. I am in an Airbnb, and this lighting is not ideal. But we're going to have to deal with it because we have some amazing deals. Now, even though I am out of town on vacation, that doesn't mean that I forgot about you, because boom, here is a winner of a Nintendo eShop gift card. That's right. If I say every week, I mean it. But also, let me switch hands. Boom, here is another winner of a Nintendo eShop gift card. If you'd like to have the same opportunity every single week, holidays, vacations, all that included, all you have to do is like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter or both of those, and just support the community as much as you possibly can, and I will always give back as much as I possibly can. Because I'm just so appreciative, right? That's the only logical answer I could give you. Now, I will admit this is a bunch of yapping. Let's, I don't know how to wrap this up. Let's just go ahead and get into these deals. The first game I want to talk about today is 20XX. This is currently on sale on the eShop for $2.69. That's 85% off the full price, and this is the lowest price this game has ever been. This is a roguelike action platformer that you can play with a friend or jump in and play by yourself, right? You know, it can go either way here. This is really interesting because you will go through ever-changing levels, collect awesome new powers, and battle mighty bosses in the name of saving the human race. So whenever I recommend this game, I always like to say it's kind of like a Mega Man inspired game. At least that's what I would say. But this game is really fun. I think I paid $10 and I really enjoyed it. So for less than $3, this one is a no-brainer. Now let's talk about Celeste, which is currently on sale for $4.99, and that is 75% off the full price. This is a game that goes on sale, I would say pretty frequently, maybe every other Nintendo eShop sale, and normally it's $5. So sometimes when you see a game repeatedly be on sale for a certain price, you might think there's nothing there, or maybe this was good a long time ago, but it's not holding up now. This game is incredible. It is a definition of a masterpiece. It's very challenging, but it is a treat when you start learning, I guess, how to platform through it. And it's arguably one of the best games that I ever played on the Switch. It plays like a dream on the Switch too, and you would be hard-pressed to find a better game for $5. Speaking of games that are $5, now let's talk about Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. This is currently on sale for $4.99, and that is 83% off the full price. So again, this was a game that I seen on sale all the time for $5, and I thought, it looks cool. It looks like it would be a lot of fun. I didn't know about it previous to playing it on the Switch, but you know, this is me learning about it. There's no way it's going to be worth it for $5, especially for what they're advertising. A huge open world adventure game that just looks like it has a lot of depth to it. Yeah, so I don't even know like how this game is this cheap, but it is definitely worth $5 if you like adventure games. I don't want to say similar to Skyrim or Zelda, but you know, in that same vein kinda. There's so much to do here, and it has such a unique battling system that I don't want to spoil. So yeah, for $5, again, this one is a no-brainer. So I didn't set these up this way, but we have another $5 game now, and that is Pepper Grinder. This is currently on sale for $4.99. That is 67% off the full price, and this is the lowest price this game has ever been. This game is fantastic. Pepper Grinder is an action-packed pirate adventure starring Pepper, a seafaring soul with a passion for prospecting, and Grinder, her super-powered drilling device. I remember when they first showed this off, I believe in an Indie World showcase, and it just looked so unique. It had a small bit of hype, I think, when it first released, and I heard a few people talk about it, but for some reason or another, this one kind of flew under the radar. And every time I get a chance to mention this one, whether it's being on sale or just in a Hidden Gems video or whatever, I always recommend it. It's just so fun to play. Okay, now we're talking about something that's a little different than $5, but it's technically $5 twice. That is Monster Hunter Rise plus the SUNBREAK DLC. This is currently on sale for $9.99, and that is 83% off the full price. In my personal opinion, Monster Hunter Rise is the best Monster Hunter game I've ever played. And I'll be honest, I haven't played all of them, but I have played a few of them, including stories, and I just think Monster Hunter Rise is so good. It's a game that you can get lost in. I think the artistic style is great. I really enjoy the characters, the music, just everything about it. On the Switch, it was a little rough around the edges, but not in any way, shape, or form that you want to play it. Now we have the boost mode on the Switch too, which it just makes it a lot better. Then you have SUNBREAK DLC, which feels like an entire game that's added on. So for $10, I'm not even kidding, you could easily put hundreds of hours into this. Okay, I guess we're on a $10 kick now because we also have SIFU, which is currently on sale for $9.99, and that is 75% off the full price. This is one of my favorite games I think I've ever played. It's a game I play all the time, and you might think, wow, he plays this all the time. He must have beat it a million times and just loves beating it over and over. Loves beating it over and over. Whoa, what are we talking about here, dude? No, this game is fun, and I have played it a million times, but I have never finished this game because it's so damn difficult. It has such a cool concept where you're like a kung fu guy who's trying to get revenge. And every time you die in this game, you age, sometimes a year, sometimes 2 or 3. But whenever you age, you learn new moves and new skills. So then it's like, do I want to age so I can get technically stronger, but then weaker at the same time? And it's so fun, man. Truly some of the best fighting mechanics in any game I've ever played, and it's definitely worth $10. Now let's talk about Pac-Man World REPAC. This is currently on sale for $5.99, and that is 80% off on the eShop. So yes, we have Pac-Man World REPAC 2 currently out, which is a phenomenal platformer, like a 3D platformer. This one is good as well. Yeah, it's not as good as the sequel, but this one is still really fun to play. And I mean, if you like platformers at all, I would say this is actually a must-play game. So there's not a lot for me to explain here, right? I think this is like a remake of the GameCube and PS2 era games. I never played them back then, but it's so fun. It's Pac-Man. It's a platformer. It has some really goofy mechanics as well. And for $6, I just think it's definitely worth the price. Now let's talk about Oceanhorn 2, Knights of the Lost Realm. This is currently on sale for $10.49, and that is 65% off on the eShop. This is another game that I will recommend pretty much anytime I get a chance to recommend it. And sometimes it might sound repetitive if you've heard me say this before, but essentially it's just a Zelda clone. You see a lot of similarities, maybe in like the art style, and maybe not so much the mechanics, but kind of like the art style of Breath of the Wild, or, it just came out, I'd say, about that time. There is another Oceanhorn game as well that's more of like a Wind Waker / 2D or 2.5D style of a Zelda game. And something I didn't know that I just read about actually recently, so I don't even know if it's true, but allegedly there's a third Oceanhorn game, so I need to check that out. But if you like Zelda at all, I would say definitely give this one a shot. I really enjoyed this. It's almost like Zelda mixed with some steampunk aesthetic, and it actually has a lot going for it. Now let's talk about the CRYSIS Remastered Trilogy. This is currently on sale for $19.99, and that is 60% off on the eShop. The CRYSIS games hold up incredibly well, so then you take those and then add the remastered version to that, so it's kind of like a fresh can of paint, better performance. I feel like they tweaked some other stuff as well. And all 3 of these games, I'm not even kidding, feel like they could have came out in 2026. They just hold up so well, and these were arguably some of the most impressive and underrated ports on the Switch. And now on the Switch 2, the performance is even better. And then you add the boost mode to that, it's even better than it previously was. So you're getting 3, arguably of the best first-person shooters and just coolest games, truly, of all time. For $20, it's such an easy recommendation. Now, let's talk about Subnautica. What's really cool is this is on sale for $9.89, which is 67% off the full price. But also, this game has an official Nintendo Switch 2 edition now. So you're getting the Switch 2 edition of Subnautica for less than $10 for just one of the most impressive games of all time. It's truly one of the best games of all time, but I guess it's a little bit more subjective, like with your taste. But I feel like anybody can't even argue against it being impressive, because it's a game that keeps surprising you and throwing stuff at you, and then you figure out some new stuff that you never figured out before, and you're like, wow, how did they think of this? It's a game I play periodically because I feel like if I were to sit down and just lock into it, I would lose hundreds of hours of my time, and I don't want to do that. And what's really cool is if you happen to buy the Sphere Switch and eventually get a Switch 2, it has a free Switch 2 upgrade. Now let's talk about Ball X Pit, which is currently on sale for $11.99. That is 20% off the full price, and this is for both the Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This is a fast-paced fantasy roguelite where heroes must find the balls to plunge deeper into a seemingly bottomless pit of monsters. Develop arcane ammunition and resources in pursuit of treasure, recruiting additional heroes to aid you in your perilous quest. This is one of those games that is like, yeah, I see what it is, and it looks like it's going to be fun and a little addicting, but then you start playing it and you're like, wow, I can't wait. There's all these power-ups and there's all this stuff going on and all this stuff to unlock, and then they throw new mechanics at you, and then some other stuff I don't want to spoil. And for $12, I would argue this is a game that everybody should own. So one of the most underrated and unique games to come out for the Switch 2 recently is CHROMAGUN 2 Die Hard. And this is currently on sale for $16.99. That is 15% off the full price, and this is the lowest price this game has ever been. This is a game that came out the midpoint of February, and every time I've got a chance to recommend it, I have. It's one of the few games out there that give you Portal vibes, like Portal 1 and 2. And I think I read an article that they were like heavily inspired by Portal. So if you like Portal at all, you're going to fall in love with this one. It really has similar gameplay and mechanics and kind of an aesthetic like that, and then also the same humor. And unfortunately, there is no new Portal game. So for the time being, this will have to do. Now it's time to talk about CRONOS: The New Dawn, which is currently on sale at Amazon physically for the Nintendo Switch 2 for $29.47. That is 51% off the full price, and this is in fact the lowest price this game has ever been. And this game is amazing. You know, this is one of my least played genres, like horror, action horror, horror survival, any of that stuff. I just don't care. And I don't know if it was because this was like one of the first Switch 2 games is the reason why I bought it or whatever. But I was pleasantly surprised. Not only does it look and run amazing on the Switch 2, I just think the game is really neat and really fun. And, you know, I can't say if this was inspired by something else or if there will be sequels in the future, but I can say this is something that I would like to play more of, so much that I'll probably replay this at some point. So if that's your cup of tea at all, or you want to take a risk on something, you can get this physically for the Switch 2. And I don't know if I mentioned it already or not, but even though this is physical for the Switch 2, it is a game key card. Now let's talk about Little Nightmares 3 Deluxe Edition, which is currently on sale for the Switch or Nintendo Switch 2, physically for $21.99. That is 63% off the full price, and this is the lowest price this game has ever been. And you can pick this up at Woot, which is a website that is owned by Amazon, which is cool because even if you have Amazon Prime, I think that works on this website as well, and then sometimes you can get even extra discounts. But yeah, it's Little Nightmares 3, right? If you like the first game or the second game, there's a good chance you're probably going to enjoy this one. I have not personally played this one yet. I don't even think I've played the second one. I did enjoy the first one though. So yeah, there's not a lot to talk about here. It's Little Nightmares 3. It's the deluxe edition. It's physical and it's on sale. And we have Fantasian Neo Dimension currently on sale for the Nintendo Switch physically at Woot for $22.99. That is 54% off the full price, and this is in fact the lowest price this game has ever been. I mean, if I can keep it real, this game is not going to be for everybody, but if you're into JRPGs or RPGs, especially the classic ones, you're really going to enjoy this one, especially since this game was created by Hironobu Sakaguchi. You might have heard of them before. This is something that on the surface, you see the graphics and gameplay and you think they were so, I guess, nostalgic for the older JRPGs that they made something that kind of plays like that. And at first, it does feel a little simple and a little basic with the gameplay and controls. But I also think they crafted a really interesting world, great characters, really fun gameplay, and a really cool premise, again, that I don't want to spoil here. But I will say, for less than $25 to pick up a really fantastic game, physically, it's kind of hard to argue against that. So yeah, like I was saying, I didn't really expect to find much this week in terms of sales, but I was pleasantly surprised. We found digital and physical from a wide range of genres. And I did it while I was on vacation because I'm here to serve the people. You guys are my constituents. Constituents? Something like that. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. Any sales that I missed, any games you're picking up, any games you're playing. I would just love to hear from you guys. And remember, if you made it to this part of the video, if you could do me a favor, hit a like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter on the way out, and consider becoming a channel member. I think we have 16. Let's hit 20 because some big news is coming for channel members. And weekly streams will be starting in like a week. You're not going to want to miss it, man. Some cool prizes, cool giveaways, a bunch of stuff. So consider becoming a member. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.